Motivation. Does the environment motivate cells to do what cells do? In the early ocean, cells were floating around. Did the environment motivate them to get out of town, to get out of the ocean? I was thinking about myself and how rituals, getting ready to go for a little walk and do some pull-ups, and thinking about how if you want to do something, you got to do something. You got to keep doing it to do it, or else you won't be able to do it. So I'd like to be able to, at age 100, still take a walk up to the park and do some pull-ups. And I was thinking, well, do I got to do that every day if I want to be able to do it at age 100? How long could I sit around, not do anything, and still be able to do anything? So then the next thought was, well, if you don't do anything, you turn into a vegetable. You might be a couch potato or some other kind of vegetable, but at some point, if there is no motivation, animals will turn back into vegetables. And I thought that was a sort of astonishing thought. So as people, we are minerals, vegetables, and at times highly animated when we are motivated. I might be able to motivate myself sometimes. Sometimes I get tired of myself, get tired of being lazy, and so I force myself. I take energy to make energy and push myself up the mountain so that I can have energy, so that I can feel better. Then when I feel better, I won't be tired of myself anymore. I'll be all energized. So at some point, the environment gets convoluted, assuming to begin with that all there was the environment. Environment only, the big E. The environment takes all kinds of chances. Like water, it seeks its own level. It explores everything. It's not afraid of taking chances. Very risky stuff, this environment thing. It creates niches or niches, and then after organisms are produced or grow out of or into an environment, these niches or niches are filled. An interesting kind of a mythology to think that there is such a thing as the environment. And it tends to suggest that there are organisms, at times, depending. In the early solar system, that was the environment. There were no organisms. The environment was very gaseous. That's all there was. It was a gas back then. It was a real gas. Mostly hydrogen, from what I've heard. And then the story continues. So from this mythological environment thing, a purely conceptual state of mind, with all sorts of amounts, quantities of energies waving at each other in particular, there arises, emerges, is produced, and grows out of this environment everything that is on Earth. How amazing is that? The environment, did it have anything in mind at the time? What was the mind of the environment? Was it just messing around? Was it just being a gas? There was no such thing as enjoyment back then, but there was a lot of exuberance as the environment exuded. Stories can be fun to tell, but there is no telling what the story is telling. There might be a plot, there might be a theme, there might be a moral to the story, or maybe it's just a story. What's the point? Was there a point? Or was the telling simply for the telling? If there is music in the background, it might be a kind of a song. If the words are at play, it might be a kind of a dance of words. To tell the tale for the telling, as it chases its tail in the tailing. The story trails off into the environment. The YouTube environment produced this, and this grew out of the YouTube environment. Environs within environs. It could say to take a lot of energy, and it might take a few things that matter. Does it really matter? Well, sometimes it appears to. Sometimes it's vegetable matter. Vegetables matter.